Good evening everyone and welcome to Aurora online classes. Dear students, I am here with the same lesson chapter 10, the sermon at Benares was going on, and in my previous class I gave you the summary, the detailed summary of this lesson, the sermon at Benares. So let's begin this lesson without wasting too much time. This is about God, Lord Buddha, who doesn't know, and we are proud to be we are proud to be an Indian where Lord Buddha was born, and especially on the land of Bihar. So let's get started. Gautam Buddha 563 BC 483 BC began life as a prince named Siddhartha Gautama. In northern India, at 12 he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later he returned home to marry a princess. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. At about the age of 25, the prince, hitherto shielded from the sufferings of the world while out hunting, chanced upon a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk begging for alms. These sights so moved him that he at once went out into the world to seek enlightenment. Enlightenment means a state of high spiritual knowledge of truth, satya ka gyan, param gyan, concerning the sorrows he had witnessed. He wandered for 7 years and finally sat down under a peepal tree where he vowed to stay until enlightenment came. Enlightened after 7 days, he renamed the tree the Bodhi tree, tree of wisdom, and began to teach and to share his new understandings. At that point, he became known as the Buddha, the awakened or the enlightened. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Benares, most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganges. That sermon has been preserved and it's given here. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about inscrutable kind of suffering. Kisa Gautami had an only son and he died. In her grief, she carried the dead child to all her neighbors, asking them for medicine. And the people said she had lost her senses. The boy is dead. At length, Kisa Gautami met a man who replied to her request, I cannot give thee medicine for thy child, but I know a physician who can. And the girl said, pray tell me, sir, who is it? And the man replied, go to Sakyamuni. Sakyamuni is the name of Lord Buddha. Kisa Gautami repaired to the Buddha and cried, Lord and Master, give me the medicine that will cure my boy. The Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seed. And when the girl in her joy promised to procure it, the Buddha added, the mustard seed must be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent or friend. Poor Kisa Gautami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, here is mustard seed, take it. But when she asked, did a son or daughter, a father or mother die in your family? They answered, alas, the living are few, but the dead are many. Do not remind us of our deepest grief. And there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. Kisa Gautami became weary, means tired and hopeless, and sat down at the wayside watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and were extinguished again. At last the darkness of the night reigned everywhere, and she considered the fate of men, that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. And she thought to herself, how selfish am I in my grief? Death is common to all. Yet in this valley of desolation, there is a path that leads him to immortality who has surrendered all selfishness. The Buddha said, the life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. For there is not any means by which those that have been born can avoid dying. After reaching old age, there is death. Of such a nature are living beings. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling, so mortals when born are always in danger of death. All are earthen vessels made by the potter, end in being broken, so is the life of mortals. Both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. Of those who overcome by death depart from life. A father cannot save his son, nor kinsmen their relations. Mark, while relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, one by one mortals are carried off like an ox that is led to the slaughter, so the world is afflicted with death and decay. Therefore, the wise do not grieve, knowing the terms of the world. Not from weeping nor from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. On the contrary, his pain will be the greater and his body will suffer. He will make himself sick and pale. Yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed will obtain peace of mind. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow and be blessed. So this is the lesson, the sermon at Banaras. Actually, let us talk about the early life of Lord Buddha. Gautam Buddha was born in 563 and he began his life as a prince, and there was no lack of anything. He lived his life in luxury in his royal palace. He had everything with him. There was no suffering with him. Actually, he was the son of a king. He was a prince, and being a prince, he had everything: wealth, health, happiness, joy. He had everything. But Lord Buddha did not like all these things. He wanted something different. So there was a thirst. He felt the thirst for enlightenment. He felt the thirst for supreme knowledge. He felt the thirst for true knowledge. And actually at 12 he was sent away for schooling, where he studied holy books, Hindu scriptures, sacred scriptures. Means where he studied in his school, he studied Hindu holy books. And when he stayed there for 4 years and came back, and at the age of 16 he married a princess, Yashodhara, and from that princess he had a son whose name was Rahul. Actually his childhood name was Siddhartha. He was Siddharth in his childhood. And actually once he went out for hunting and he came across 4 sights. He caught sight of 4 sights. He saw 4 sights, and these 4 sights changed his life. He was shocked and he was deeply moved to see those 4 sights. And these 4 sights had great impact on him. And what were these 4 sights? Actually, he saw a sick man, bimar admi. Then he saw an aged man, means old man. Then he saw a funeral procession of dead man. And then finally he saw a monk, sadhu, sannyasi, begging for alms. All these 4 sights had great impact on his life. It changed him. It affected so much. It affected him so much that he went out into the world for enlightenment. He went out for seeking enlightenment, and enlightenment means a state of high spiritual knowledge. He went out seeking the true knowledge, and he wandered for 7 years. And after wandering for 7 years, he came to a place and he sat down under a fig tree, and he meditated under that fig tree for 7 days. And after meditating for 7 days under that fig tree, he got enlightenment, and he became enlightened, the Buddha, the awakened, the enlightened Buddha. Because now he sat down for 7 days under meditation, in meditation, and he got enlightenment. He got the light of supreme power. He got the light of truth. He got the light of wisdom. So the tree under which he sat down in meditation, he renamed that tree, and since then that tree where he sat in meditation, he renamed this, and since then that tree came to be known as Bodhi tree. This Bodhi tree, Bodhi means knowledge, means that was the tree of wisdom, that was the tree of knowledge. This was the tree of wisdom, that was the tree of divine knowledge. Now there is an incident, and he understood that this world is full of sufferings. He understood that death comes to one and all. Death is common to one and all. Nobody can escape death. But who can escape death? Nobody can escape death. But one who get enlightenment can escape death, can be away from the suffering of his life. And he really worked hard. He remained in meditation for several years. So there is an incident in this story once, and he gave his first sermon. Sermon means religious or moral talk. In Hindi, pravachan or updesh. So he gave his first sermon after getting enlightenment. After getting enlightened, he gave his first sermon. He delivered his first sermon at the holy city of Banaras, on the bank of the holy river Ganga. So he delivered his first sermon there. And there is an incident. Then Kisa Gautami, there was a woman, and Kisa Gautami had an only son, iklota beta, only son, and Kisa Gautami's son died. So Kisa Gautami's son was in grief. She was in untold suffering. She was in unspeakable suffering, unspeakable grief. She was overwhelmed with grief. And then she carried the dead child to all her neighbors, and she asked them for medicine to cure this child. And all people had sympathy for Kisa Gautami. They understood that Kisa Gautami had lost her only son, and she is overwhelmed with grief. Grief means sorrow. Then she came across a man, and that nobleman advised him to approach Lord Buddha. And then she approached Lord Buddha. That man advised her to approach Lord Buddha, and he assured her that only Lord Buddha can cure her child. Means only Lord Buddha can give life to your child again. He can make your child alive. He can cure your child. उसका इलाज कर सकते हैं. You just go to Lord Buddha. And she was in distress. She was in complete distress. She was upset, and in that state she went to Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha, having a deep thought, Lord Buddha told her to go and bring a handful of seeds. And he told Kisa Gautami that bring a handful of seeds. And he put a condition. Bring a handful of seeds from the house where nobody had died. Where nobody had died. Where no one has lost a child. Nobody has lost a husband. Nobody has lost a parent or friend. So go and get a handful of mustard seeds from the house where nobody had died. And then Kisa Gautami, she wanted the life of her child back. That is why she went from door to door asking for a handful of mustard seeds. Everybody was ready. Everybody gave her a handful of mustard seeds. But then she asked, has anybody died in your family? Then they said, how could it be possible? How could it be possible? friend has died, mother has, in some house mother has died, father has died, brother has died, sister has died, husband has died. Means there was not, she found no house where nobody had died. So she found that in every house one day death comes to all. And she got tired, she got weird, she got tired, she was hopeless. It was by evening she got tired and hopeless and came back to Lord Buddha. Now, and she realized the meaning of Lord Buddha's order. She realized that this is a universal truth, and she came back to Lord Buddha. She understood the fate of men, the destiny of men. She saw the lights and thereafter darkness all around. Similarly, such a case is with life. Nothing is permanent in this world. Lord Buddha made her understand that these are the vessels, these are the vessels, pot, earthen vessel. Earthen vessel means pot. And he said the creator is God. And our bodies, we all are just like earthen pots. And earthen pots are to be broken. Earthen pots are not permanent. They break one day. Means Lord Buddha made her understand this body is just like an earthen pot. And it has to break one day. Means death has to come to all. Everybody is a subject to death. Nobody can escape. This is what Lord Buddha made her understand. And now she had understood. And one more thing Lord Buddha told her, that weeping is not the solution to this problem. When we lament means to express sorrow, dukh manana, regret, paschatap karna. When we lament over the death of some dear ones, lamenting is not the solution. By lamenting we cannot bring back his or her life. So the blessed are those who have overcome the fear of death. And once you overcome the fear of death, you are wise. So we must try to understand that death is the ultimate truth and nobody can escape death. Death is common to all. So we should not be afraid of it. And this world is full of sufferings. And desire is the cause of suffering. So this is what Lord Buddha made her understand. And then she got solace, she got comforts, she got satisfaction, because Lord Buddha made her understand the theme, the reality of this world. And the reality of this world is that life is transitory in this world. Life is not permanent. Everything changes with the passage of time. If you are a child, you cannot be a child forever. If you are young, you cannot be young forever. If you are old, you cannot be old forever. You are very close to death, and death has to come to one and all. Nobody can escape death. Death does not spare anyone. And this is the ultimate truth of life. This is the reality of life. And this is the stark reality of life. This is the bitter truth of life. And everybody has to accept it. There is no way out. This is what Lord Buddha made Kisa Gautami understand. And Kisa Gautami got the blessing from Lord Buddha. And then Lord Buddha made her pacified. So, dear students, this was his first sermon at Banaras. So he gave his first sermon at Banaras on the bank of the holy river Ganga. Dear students, thank you very much. This is all for today. I have completed this lesson. And I tell you, even the classes are going on. So please attend the classes. If your parents allow you, please attend the classes regularly. Don't forget to watch your video lectures. Even if you attend the classes, it doesn't mean that you should forget it. No, this is a part of your duty. So you watch the video lecture of every day. Every day's video lecture. This will be fruitful for you. I hope you will try to comply with what I am saying right now. So do what I am saying. And what I am saying is for your benefits. And not only I, but all the teachers are really working hard for you. So try to understand the pains of your teachers. Try to understand their hard work for you. Thank you very much. Now this chapter is over, and I'll start a new lesson in my next class. Till then, be happy, stay blessed. Thank you very much.